Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? A little bit of a nippy morning here today. No sunshine, but I'm still soaking up my morning routine of electrodes out of the soil. So many people are kind of in a funk, and so many people feel like they're not accomplishing anything. They feel stuck, and they feel like they're just going through the motions of kind of surviving each day. You know, some people are in depression. I know what that feels like. I've been there. Severe anxiety, severe depression from when I was really, really young. After I was raped by my grandfather, I kind of went into very fearful state, disconnected from myself, disconnected from the world, suicidal, and so on and so forth. So I know what it feels like, and also help myself out of it alone. I knew this was something that nobody could help me with. This is something that I had to figure out myself. And the other day I was having a reading with someone, and that spirit reminded me of what I did a long time ago to kind of get out of that funk. And I thought it'd be great to share that with you guys, because I know we're in this transitioning phase. A lot of things are falling apart. A lot of things are hard to observe in our world. People feel disconnected with their current reality. They don't recognize the world anymore. And we simply, because we're in that energetic transitioning phase, a lot of us don't have the energy or the focus or even the courage to undertake big plans and big dreams. And a lot of us are feeling like, like I said in another video, time seems to be passing really fast, and there doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to even get anything accomplished. That's the perception that we have right now, because we're vibrating at a higher frequency than the frequency of the current parallel reality we're still attached to, which is vibrating at a lower frequency. But two, it's we're in a shitty deal right now. We know the world, we see the truth, and yet it feels a lot of times like, is this ever going to get better? Are people ever going to make the change individually? Because we all need to make the changes individually in order to collectively make changes. And it can be disheartening and feel disempowering. And so we go into this kind of self-sabotaging mode where we feel like we're not getting anything done, we're not accomplishing anything. So I'm probably babbling again, but if you're feeling down, if you're feeling depressed, if for any reason whatsoever you just simply do not feel good in life and don't feel good about life and what you're accomplishing, because we're so programmed in this, you have to accomplish big things or else your life isn't worth anything, and you're not worth anything, and you're a loser, and you're this and you're that, and it's all bullshit, and it's bad for you, the way George Carlin always said it. It's not true. And so how do you get out of it? You gotta keep moving. You gotta keep moving, and you gotta change your perspective, because guess what? Every day, every single day, you are accomplishing thousands of tasks, and you're not acknowledging them because they've become part of your routine, and therefore they seem less valuable. They're not. Just simply waking up, having the courage to get up and deal with another shit show of a day, that alone takes courage. It's a task. It's something, that, hi Lily, it's something that, that you've accomplished, making yourself breakfast, making your kids breakfast, getting kids ready for school. Those are all jobs, and you accomplish them day after day. Okay, boom, check, another accomplishment. See me roar. Going to work, engaging with people, even those that might not resonate with you, still doing the effort to engage, to stay in a loving energy, to stay hopeful. Those are all tasks that you've accomplished. And so, if you want to get out of the funk, feeding your cat, boom, loving them, making them feel whole. It's like, all tasks, okay? So if you want to get out of the funk, and if you want to get out of that, okay, watch out for my camera, honey. Sorry. If you want to start feeling engaged again with your life, start feeling like, yes, we're moving forward, we're doing what we're meant to do, we're getting somewhere, we're accomplishing goals, we're accomplishing tasks. Start writing down what you do each day. I got up, got the courage to get up for another day. I got the courage to try and stay in a hopeful energy, and a loving energy. Got myself dressed, check. Got myself breakfast, check. Fed my children, check. Fed my cats, fed my pets, check. Start writing down everything you do that you accomplish, that you fulfill. And at the end of the day, you will be surprised how much work you got done. How much things, tasks, jobs you've got accomplished. Chickens just joined me. As soon as they see me, they come running. That's how you get out of that mentality that I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not doing anything. I'm not accomplishing anything. Yes, you are. Every day you're accomplishing 1,000,001 tasks. But you have to see them, and you have to value them. You have to honor yourself for doing those jobs, because you don't have to do those if you don't want to. But you still get up and do it because you're loving your family, because in some way or form you love yourself. You could just stay in bed all day and not do anything. And if you do that, you're still thinking. You're still processing information. That is a job. That is a task. For a very long time after I quit university, because I was just in such a bad place, very suicidal, I stayed in my bedroom for almost 2 years, and I would just go down to eat and watch some TV, come back up, and I would just lay in my bed and I always listen to John Williams or classical film music for some reason. I listened a lot to the Bicentennial Man soundtrack and things like that. And even though I felt like I was just, wasting away, just doing nothing, because I just didn't have the drive, the energy, the focus to change anything at that time. Looking back at it now, what may seemed like I was just breathing, I realized I was laying in my bed for hours and hours at a time listening to classical music. I was meditating and I didn't even know it. I was trying to find a way to disconnect. And so even that is a task, because unconsciously, without me even knowing it, I was trying to connect to my higher self. I was trying to feel something that would give me the energy and the drive to keep going for another day. And it must have worked somehow. Because I've spent 2 years probably meditating each day without me even knowing it. And it did get me through. And I did manage to all of a sudden gain this jolt of energy and say, you know what, I'm out of here. And I jumped on an airplane and I went to America. And that's where the process started of finding me, who am I, and not the victim that was abused and that went through hell and back, inside and out. So even that is a process. A process where a deep inner reflection occurs, a process where we connect by disconnecting to something outside of ourselves. And it may not seem like it at the time, but at some point when you reflect back, you will notice that everything had its purpose. And guess what? You guys got through everything already. All the problems that you've encountered, all the worries and all the stress moments, they're still in the past. You know, you overcame them. You and that should give you the courage to understand that, look, there's always a solution. No matter how much shit I encountered in the past, look at me. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still going, and all those problems are no longer relevant. They're no longer a part of my reality. So you always find a way to transcend what is uncomfortable, but you also learn something from them about yourself. So whenever you encounter new challenges, remind yourself of that. Oh, I'll find a solution. I did in the past, so there's always a solution. You know, start looking at life from a different perspective and start valuing everything. Everything you do. Even if you don't move mountains, you don't have to. Getting up in the morning, doing all those jobs that are important, and every single one is important. Eating, getting dressed, helping your children, helping your pets, going outside, feeding nature with your energy so nature can feed you. Everything has purpose, and everything is as valuable as the other. Equal value. Just you getting up in the morning and having the courage to do 1,000,001 tasks that you dismiss mostly because it's become such a routine, we don't see the value of it anymore, but it is valuable. It is just as valuable as protesting or becoming a peacekeeper or whatever, because your presence is requested at this time in the human timeline on this planet. You're here for a reason, for a purpose. And getting up and having the courage to dare to be positive and hopeful, and to dare to dream of a better world. That's all the universe wants from us. To have the vision of what we want. Because without the vision, we cannot bring it into reality. That's why Einstein always said imagination is more important than knowledge. Because if you can imagine something, you're creating it in some timeline. Everything starts with a conscious thought. And those in control know that very well. That's why they are very aware of what they put out on TV. They don't need to create anything. They let us create their desired outcomes by putting out all the stuff they want us to think about. Because when we think about it on a collective scale, we create it even faster into reality. But you have that knowledge now too. So become very aware of where you put your focus. That's why I don't focus on most of the things you guys ask me to comment on, but I do it because you are asking me. But it's important to stay neutral. When observing the world, do not feed into it. Because you can observe something from a neutral point of view. Just don't feed it with any emotionality, because it's the emotions that put energy into motion. It's what we feel about it that determines whether it gets manifested into reality or not. So you can observe the world with neutral emotionality. Disconnect from the emotional attachment of what you're observing. And then that way we can share truth. I can answer your questions. My main focus usually is on how can we share truth without getting into a state of fear, without getting into a state of anxiety, and just get excited about knowing that truth. And how can we continue to work on ourselves in order to have the power to guide our own emotions, to guide our own thoughts, and to guide our own creations. That's what my main focus is. You know, and not everybody believes what I say. I have so many people commenting, oh, you're so full of this and you're so full of that. And that's okay. Everybody can have their perspective about me. Doesn't bother me. I know who I am, so you're not going to change me, my opinion about myself. But understand that when we attack each other, when we attack something, we're playing into the hands of those who control us. They don't control us, but those who want to control us. They don't control me. Now you guys got to decide that for yourself. Do they control you, yes or no? You have the power to disconnect from that control. So know that judgment doesn't help anybody. It just simply reflects on who you are and what you need to work on. So my biggest wish is for everyone to discover that divine self within, to discover that peaceful state that we all have. It's all there. It's inside your soul, but you have to allow it to become part of your reality. And to no longer act upon imprinted and programmed impulses that were programmed into you. To be judgmental, to be fearful, to be dismissive of one's own creations and one's own abilities to change everything. Yourself, your outside reality, your perspective. We all have the power to do that, but we have to be willing. This is the only way we're gonna heal the world we live in. So anyway, I'm babbling again. Sorry. No, you know what? I'm not sorry. It's just who I am. I babble. I can talk for hours. If you guys come to my live event on September 7th, you'll notice. Oh, Lord. Anyway, I'm quite a character in this lifetime. But it is what it is. I created it this way, so I chose not to grow up mostly. I chose to stay in that kind of childlike energy, and it's what I needed to do, because it's the only way that we can connect to higher frequencies is if we are in that childlike energy. So don't grow up. Have fun in life. Appreciate the worth of a flower. I don't pick flowers. I like to leave them where they are, where they're beautiful. Although I like getting flowers, that's not it. But I prefer flowers with roots on them so I can plant them in the garden. Get inspired by looking at bees' work. And that's what I do. When I sit in the garden and I ground, I look at all the ants. They're so busy. I look at the bees and I look at the bugs and I look at all the animals that are flying around and walking around. And I can just always imagine how they have this whole different perspective of the same earth. They're not seeing what we're seeing. They're seeing their reality. And it's just as valuable and as beautiful as ours can be. So many different realities upon one earth. And there's no one right answer. We really live in a multidimensional, multiverse reality. So what may be 100% truth in one reality might be completely opposite in another reality, and we're still co-creating and still seeing each other. And that's what's difficult for people to understand. That's why there's different mediums saying different things about certain topics. It's because not everybody's experiencing the same parallel reality, yet we still, all of that kind of collects into a collective experience of a collective reality. So it's kind of complex. Not everybody's ready to understand that. Even for me, sometimes it's hard to grasp, but Spirit always tells me humanity does not yet have the capacity to understand the complexity of their reality. So I just surrender to what I kind of understand and I don't stress about it because I don't need to understand everything right now. I know my soul already does. I just need to make the best out of this current reality, character, Emmanuel, and do what my heart tells me to do, and so should all of you. We don't need to have all the answers. We just need to understand ourselves and how we create reality. If we can do that, then we already have the most important components to create the world, the heaven on earth we deserve. We all deserve, because this is meant to be a heaven on earth situation. But we have to start taking charge. And it's so sad. I see people still going, oh, you should vote for this guy and you should vote for that guy. It's not going to make a difference. They all puppets from the same higher source that's trying to dominate. Makes no difference. You should focus on you, what you can do for your community, what you can do for you, because they're not the answer. We are. All right. I'm going to continue with my morning walk. Ground everybody daily. All right. Crazy Emma signing off. Love you.